So I was just about to leave my office. I had finished doing a couple of personal readings, and Spirit said, "Don't leave the office, sit down and do a reading." And I was like, "What reading? Another personal reading? A pick a card? What do you want?" And they said, "Do a collective reading." So we are going to do that today. Hey, it's Siobhan. This is Tarot and Beyond, or it's Tarot and Beyond. And on this channel, we do collective readings, pick a card readings, channeled messages. I work directly with Spirit to provide the information, guidance, messages, synchronicities, confirmations that you may need. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But if you felt called to click on this video, or you saw this and it came up into your reality, there's a reason for it. Okay, so they're telling me we're actually not going to use cards today. So this is just going to be a scrying reading then, like purely scrying. So I got my crystal ball here. I don't really actually need to look into it to scry. I just kind of see, but they were showing me something about a timeline. This has been coming up, like 3 of the recent readings have all been talking about timelines. So there's a collective timeline shift that's happening right now that they want to talk about with you. Those of you who have been drawn to this reading, you're part of, they're saying something about a party, part of the party. You came here to enjoy the party. They're showing me party hats, like, you know, those cone-shaped hats that you put on your head, and party poppers, noisemakers. So it's some kind of a celebration right now, shifting into a timeline that we're meant to be on. Oh, okay. Shifting onto a timeline that we are meant to be on. They just drew my attention to this selenite wand that I have, and I was also guided to put this one in the reading the other day, and it's still here, so I'm going to leave it. But there's something about selenite that could be important right now. They're saying something about being partial to... Okay, they're saying something about exiting the party. Some people are leaving early. Why? Leaving the timeline early because they have work to do, they're saying. This could be literal, but I'm taking it as more of like a collective thing. That some people are leaving the party early because they need to do some work. Those of you who were guided here, oh, you're leaving the party early to do some work. What is that work? Okay, they said spiritual purpose. They're saying spiraling through time. Oh yeah, this is a spiral like that. Okay, spiraling through time. Something about clarity of thought. The Fibonacci sequence. Yeah, that's the spiral. Okay, for those of you who are drawn to this reading, there's something that you're going back over again, and you're leaving one timeline to go into an old one, doing some final cleanup, I'm hearing. This is not a message for everyone. But if you were drawn to this reading, it is a message for you. So this reading is only going to show up for people who are part of this collective of souls that is... You were at the party, so you did get to celebrate. Okay, we're on the new timeline. We're making progress. Things are looking good. I'm hearing something about manifestation, having fun. But your soul has made the decision to just temporarily shift onto an older timeline to do some cleanup. Something about learning lessons, wrapping things up, tying up loose ends, deepening understanding, I'm hearing. And something about screws. This came up in my last channeled collective reading. Okay. Yeah. So there's a spiraling. And it's like there's a loop back point. And the souls in this reading, you're going back temporarily. They keep emphasizing the word temporarily. Like, don't worry. You're getting back on the party timeline. It's okay. You won't get caught up in the old loop, but there's something that needs to be finished here. It's part of it's a cleanup mission. It's part of the job that you do at soul level. You're an expert at this. Don't mind. They said mind over matter. Something about clarity of mind, because they mentioned that earlier. So there's something about clarity of mind here that is part of this cleanup mission. You could be going back to old ways of thinking or doing things. So it's not like you're going back into old patterns necessarily, but they might crop up a little bit. Okay. Patterns of it, they said it's going to be different for everyone. Okay. But it's old patterns that you've had. So if you made some progress and you were having a good time with that, and you were like, wow, yes, I finally broke through and I'm on this new timeline, and then all of a sudden you kind of seem to regress, don't repress it, they're saying. Understand why this is happening. That's why you've been drawn to this reading, is so you can understand that there's a reason for this. It's not because you've regressed or relapsed or gone back to the old ways. What's happening is that you're doing some clearing. Finalization, I just heard. You're doing some finalization, and it's closing that loop once and for all. So it's actually a good thing, because if you didn't go back and finish this stuff up, it might have cropped up later on this higher timeline that you're meant to be on. So by getting it out of the way now, before you fully build, they're saying something about castles in the sky, before you build castles in the sky in the new timeline, you need to make sure that that old stuff isn't going to continue to linger around and haunt you. And they were showing me something about mail, like mail, snail mail. What's this about? Following you around. It's like anywhere you go, that mail, the post office is going to deliver that message to you. Oh, the message, yeah. So you're gaining clarity of thought around this. Now they're showing me Gmail. So email and snail mail, like physical mail, messages that are meant to be delivered. Maybe this is part of closing out the cycle, understanding these things, communicating these things, receiving the message so that you can understand why. Oh, they showed me, it's kind of like the mail will find you wherever you go. So you need to accept, receive the parcel, receive the mail, get the message, understand it, and then you kind of like you shut down that account, or like you send it back and close down where that was coming from. And then because of that, it no longer traces you or follows you around. I don't know what this means literally, but that's what they're showing me symbolically. It's like it follows you around until you're done with, you finally accept it and you can say, I'm done with this. And then it doesn't show up anymore. It doesn't continue to track you down. It's not going to haunt you like that. So you're closing out the cycle so that you don't have to worry about that anymore. And you can move into this new space, this new place, this new frequency, vibration with ease, knowing like, okay, there's nothing in the past that's going to show up abruptly and wreck what I'm building here. Yeah, it's like dealing with the past so that it doesn't become your future, or so that it doesn't interrupt your future, because your future is very bright. I can see that here. They're showing me this new timeline, like the party timeline. Everybody's celebrating because it's so great, and it's very bright, like really light. The frequency is high, 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 high. So there's a lot of good things on this timeline, and you don't want that to be interrupted for you or for anyone else too. So it's like a personal mission, but it's also, they're saying something about privacy settings. What? Changing your privacy settings could be part of this, literally, or this could be, again, symbolic of, it's like you change how you are allowed to be tracked or receive messages or mail. Okay. Just take it as it resonates. But yeah, I'm hearing freedom. So you're freeing yourself, getting free. They're saying they started singing the YMCA, but it wasn't, the lyrics were not the YMCA. It was like freedom, something. So maybe you're switching up an old song, reinventing yourself. YMCA also makes me think of like doing things as a collective. Because when that song comes on, we all can't help but go like this. YMCA. So you're doing this for the collective good. I'm hearing collective good, the greater good. But you're not sacrificing anything to do this either. It's not like you have to endure anything really negative. It's just reviewing a couple of patterns that were a little bit annoying, inconvenient, and changing how you interact with that energy. Changing how that energy interacts with you. Okay. How it interacts with you. How it can trace you, how it can find you. You're changing your energetic signature at a fundamental level to prevent that from reoccurring. I keep getting that. It's the same message, but they're just kind of giving a little more context or detail on it. So hopefully you'll see how this plays out in your life, or you'll be able to, okay, they're saying something about manifestation. And then I paused and I felt like I was just temporarily like standing completely still, which is rare for me because I'm a fidgeter. So something about stillness or a temporary pause. And what it reminded me of was that game, What Time Is It, Mr. Fox? And you had to walk and then stop every time. Was that the one? And you had to stop every time they turned around or something. You had to freeze. Kind of like freeze tag. What's this talking about, Spirit? Okay, they said parallel timelines. Something about frozen. Things frozen. Oh, they're showing me ice cores. Ooh, going back in time, digging deep into the core of something. Something frozen in time. Ice core. Drilling down deep, and carbon dating too. Like with ice cores, they can tell the environment, the atmosphere, they can date things like that. They can understand more. They said something about microbiome. And biome triggered the thought biodome, which is like a Pauly Shore movie. These are all key codes they're saying, by the way. Just if it seems really random, it is, but it's meant to be that way. There's a cohesive kind of line of thought to it, but it's peppered with all of these different key codes and references and synchronicities and confirmations for certain people. So that's why these things come up like that. I don't know why I'm being called to mention that. Maybe for some of you who are like, wait, what? What was biodome about? It's like an isolated environment. Yeah, that's the old timeline. It's like it's an isolated environment. You're going to take some samples to understand something. You're doing some kind of like scientific work to close out these patterns within yourself, to understand something. They keep saying clarity of thought, clarity of mind, your awareness sharpening on these old patterns. Okay. Clearing. They're saying, oh yeah, and selenite is to do with clearing, purification. And this one's kind of spirally, and it reminds me of a unicorn horn, which is also about purification. Purity. Okay. They said testing to see results. So you might be doing a little bit of testing right now. Something about your environment, testing your environment to see how it's going to respond. What do you mean by that, Spirit? What do you mean by the environment? The people around you, they said. Oh, okay. Something about channeling. I mean, this is channeling, but you may be testing the people around you, channeling energy, or they're saying something about intuition. Seeing the people around you through the lens of intuition. So they said taking samples. It's kind of like being able to see a snapshot of someone. Freeze frame. Yeah, they keep freeze frame, like something freezing. being able to take a snapshot of someone and seeing their auric field. Have you ever actually, there's pictures that can do that. I'm pretty sure I've seen that before. It's like they take a picture and then something about the exposure, or I don't know how it works. There's like chemicals or something, and it can show you your colors of your aura. And the auric field will change and adapt, but we kind of have like a core frequency. Then depending on our mood, it's like a mood ring, like depending on our mood, it will change color, or depending on kind of the energy we're in, it can change color. So you may be channeling some information about people through interacting or connecting to their aura. This could be part of like you're testing the environment to see which part of the timeline needs to be closed, they're saying. And something about relationships is significant in this process. But the people will come with you who are meant to come with you. That's what they really wanted me to say that. It came in strong, that message. Like it's almost like, don't worry, don't worry. The people who are meant to come with you will come with you. And you're not testing to judge or to reject anybody. It's like you're just kind of seeing where things are at. And they're saying something about cross-comparing. Opposites, opposing factors. What are you comparing? Frequencies. Oh, this could even literally be about being able to tell which frequency you're in, or what timeline you're in, I should say. What timeline you're in, or where, yeah. Because it's based on the frequency. And the frequency of the people around you will tell you that. And they're showing me a snake skin, something about snake skin. Sensitivity, again, something about sensitivity to touch could be significant as well. Creativity. I feel like you're channeling a lot here. Those of you who are drawn to this reading, this shift opens you up in some way. And the previous energies channel through you, and that's how you're testing them out. That's how you're seeing what needs to be adjusted, the frequency adjustments that need to take place on this parallel timeline. But it's like a loop. The way that they showed it to me before, it wasn't like a parallel timeline like this. It was kind of like there was this higher timeline, and then it's hard to explain because timelines aren't linear, but that's how our human mind can attempt to conceptualize it. And it was like there was this like bloop. There was like a loop that was kind of attached off to the side. I still don't fully understand at the human level how timelines work. My higher self gets it, but Siobhan, not so much. This may feel like a bit of a risk, or there's something about gambling, but no, I'm hearing it's a sure thing. It's a sure bet. It's a sure bet. What is that about? You'll make it clear, they said. You'll make it clear. And you're betting on yourself or something. It's a sure bet. You're sure to win. I am hearing 50-50 odds, but you're sure to win. How does that work? Because 50-50 odds, that means like half. No. They're saying something about clearing out the other 50%. Oh, and then you make it 100% odds in your favor. In favor of this higher timeline, they're saying. Okay. So clearing out the mischance, they said. Oh, mischance. Because yes, there's fate. Yes, there's divine order. Yes, there's destiny. Yes, there's like these sort of predetermined timelines. But there's always chance. Every option is on the table. That's what I just heard. Every option is on the table. And so that's why there needs to be this delving into all of these other timelines and clearing out certain things. So it's kind of like we can disconnect that timeline from this one so that it doesn't interfere in any way. Getting to the crystal core, they're saying. So it could be something to do with inner earth, because they were showing us that the diving into the ice cores. And they said crystal core. Getting to the core, the root of something for sure. And crystallizing to me feels like connected to that message about 100%. So instead of 50%, it's 100%. It's crystallized. It's very secure, closing the loop, they said. And they're showing me the Fibonacci sequence again, and they're saying that it's an open-ended sequence. And so there's that timeline needed to have that loop closed. So this is more of like high-level information. This isn't so much tangible 3D stuff that we're talking about here today. This is more light worker stuff. But if you were drawn here and you understand what I'm talking about, or it's resonating on some level, whether it's with your mind or your soul, or both, I think you'll get it. Yeah, they're saying, again, something about key codes. Crystal butterfly. That was another thing that came up in one of my previous readings. They said something about a crystal butterfly, and I forgot that my friend gave me this. She sent me a package that had a bunch of little butterflies, little things like this in it. And I kind of stuck them all over my house. And I found one the other day in the closet, and I just stuck it on here randomly because I think it's pretty. But I didn't realize until right now that could have been connected to that crystal butterfly message that was channeled in one of the previous readings. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was you'll see this right before you're about to shift or something reading. It was another collective reading. It had the animal cards on it. I'll link it in the description box. But yeah, that's significant. It's like past messages that were channeled are going to become clear. There's context. And the purpose of this study is to understand the nature of time and closing the loop or closing that gap. Okay, gotcha. They're showing me something about amputating. It's like amputating that timeline. There was like a timeline tumor. And it's like you got amputate the old timeline. Distortions, they're saying, distortions within that timeline that could have 50-50 chance again, could have influenced this new timeline that we're all collectively embarking on. 9/11 codes, they're saying. Okay, gotcha. If you know, you know. All right, anything else, Spirit? Collective downloads increasing, they're saying. There's going to be more collective downloads that are coming through. I think some of this is going to be through me here on the channel. So just to prepare you guys, or if you're interested in more collective downloads, those are going to be more prevalent here on the channel. They're just actually telling me this right now. You know, I work for Spirit, so whatever they say, that's where we go. But I think there's going to be other people who are talking about these kinds of things too, because I know I'm not the only one, not even close to the only one. So there's a lot of other light workers, a lot of other channelers who are going to be bringing through some collective messages as kind of like bits and pieces. Everybody holds a code. They're saying something about different star systems, galaxies, frequency adjustments again. Stargates are significant. And they're just showing me illumination and a peak. There's a peak point that's coming. November 11th, I just heard. Okay, that's very specific. They only give timing for certain reasons, but the November 11th, this is technically a timeless reading, but November 11th is significant. Oh, November 11th. That's 11/11. Ah, 11/11. Okay. They said that's the timeline split. Purpose redirection. Okay, they're now showing me that I'm going to be redirected. Okay, I'm literally channeling this out loud. It's not live, but it feels live to me. They're saying something about I'm going to be redirected. So my purpose will change. So if you're not new here on the channel, I don't know what this is going to look like, but they're telling me they're going to show me through the process. So my purpose is going to change here. What I'm doing is going to change in some way. I don't know how. We'll find out together. If you're here and you're along for the ride and you're willing, let's go. And this applies to other people too. They're saying especially channelers, and more people are going to be opening to channel, so more people are going to be stepping into those roles. Channeling healing, channeling messages, channeling music, art. I actually just did a personal reading for somebody who does that. High-level souls, I'm hearing. And if you were drawn to this reading, you are one of those high-level souls. Whether you've realized it or not, you are what they call chosen ones. And chosen ones are not chosen because they're special or different or more gifted or better than. Chosen ones are chosen because they've chosen themselves. They've connected with the God source energy and taken on the responsibility of stepping into that role of service and being open to spirit, being open to the higher divine order, the law of one, service to others, orientation. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, there's going to be some big changes here that they're showing me in the collective happening over the next few months and leading into that 1111 portal. They want me to do a reading on that. I don't usually do readings on those types of like numerological Gregorian calendar dates. I don't usually vibe with that, but they're telling me they'll remind me because I'm like, oh no, I don't want to forget. They'll remind me to do a reading on that as it comes up or is relevant. There could be other readings by other people on the 1111 portal that are also going to be relevant. Readers who don't even know the levels of consciousness they're tapping into are going to be bringing through messages from the divine that are much higher level than they're used to. So if you're a reader also, by the way, keep that in mind because there's going to be like new access codes. They're showing new access codes being granted to those in service and in integrity and in alignment with the law of one. There's going to be a lot more information coming through, a lot more channeled downloads. And now they're saying it's time to party. Okay. So we'll be celebrating at that point. They said you can celebrate now too, but it's all happening in the now, they're saying. It's all the present moment. And it's just kind of layered. So I'm getting excited. I can feel the excitement. It's tangible. It's palpable. There's good things coming. Illumination for the collective. I'm hearing again, illumination for the collective. One of many, one of many, one of many, they're saying. Okay, guys, I think that is the message. They just wanted to bring that through to show us a little bit of the direction that we're heading in and why these things are happening or why you may be reviewing certain things or going back to old patterns and having the context for that and maybe even new gifts that are unlocking for you in the coming months. So stay tuned for that 1111 reading and also for the shifts and changes that may be taking place here on the channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love and light and power and purpose for the aligned progression of the collective for its greatest and highest good and for your greatest and highest good. And so it is. Thanks so much. I love you and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.